Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Ashok IT. So today we are here to discuss about DevOps with AWS. Today is our fourth session related to DevOps and AWS. Last three classes videos you can watch in our YouTube channel if anybody missed for those classes. All right, let's get started with our today's session. Let's get started with our today's session. All of you able to see my screen? Is my notepad visible? Is my notepad visible? All right, good. In session one, we discussed about our DevOps course introduction. I explained prerequisites to attend this course and course content, duration, timings, and fee details. Coming to session two, we had the discussion related to what is DevOps. In DevOps introduction, we discussed about DevOps introduction in the session two. In that, I explained what is the DevOps, why DevOps, what is DevOps, and why DevOps, roles and responsibilities, roles and responsibilities of DevOps engineer in the company. Then coming to session three, I explained about what is SDLC, software development lifecycle. Here I explained about SDLC phases, in how many phases a project will be developed from beginning to ending, waterfall methodology, waterfall model, and I explained Agile model. Waterfall model and Agile model. These things we discussed in our third session. Right. Let's quickly revise what we discussed in the second session and third session. What is the DevOps? So can I say DevOps is one programming language? Can we say DevOps is a programming language or DevOps is a framework? No. What is DevOps, guys? What is the DevOps? DevOps is a culture which is used to simplify application build and deployment process, right? We can say that DevOps is a process to automate project build and deployment process. DevOps nothing but set of practices. DevOps nothing but set of practices which are used to deploy and deliver the application to the client. Using this DevOps process, we can simplify the build and deployment process. We can simplify project delivery process by using this DevOps. Using this DevOps. Perfect. What are the roles and responsibilities of the DevOps engineer? So DevOps engineers are responsible to create the infrastructure which is required for our project. DevOps engineers are responsible to create infrastructure which is required for the project, and they are going to automate project build process and deployment process. To automate project build and deployment process, DevOps engineers are going to use some tools. Those tools are called as DevOps tools. Can you guys tell me what are the DevOps tools we are going to learn in this course? I already explained what are the tools we are going to learn as part of this course. What are the tools we are going to use? Is it one tool or multiple tools are available? There are multiple tools are available. We are going to use Maven to compile the project and package the project. We are going to use GitHub to store source code of the project. We will use a Nexus to store the build artifacts of our application. We will use a SonarQube to perform the code review. We will use a Terraform to create infrastructure. We will use Ansible to manage configurations. We will use Jenkins to automate build and deployment process. We will use Docker to create containers to execute our application. We will use Kubernetes to orchestrate our Docker containers. And we will use Grafana and Prometheus to monitor our application servers and application cluster. We will use ELK stack, which is used to monitor application log files. So here for our application, development will be there and operations will be there. To establish collaboration between this development and operations only, we are using this DevOps culture. We are using DevOps process. So as a DevOps engineer, you are responsible to set up the infrastructure which is required to run your application. You need to take the code from GitHub repository. You need to compile that code. You need to package that code, and you need to do the code review by using Sonar. You need to store the build artifact into Nexus, and you need to write the Docker files. You need to create the Docker images, Docker containers. You need to deploy Docker containers on the Kubernetes cluster. So you need to manage the configurations by using Ansible. You need to install the web server like a Tomcat to run our web application. We need to create cluster and we need to monitor that cluster by using Grafana and Prometheus. We are going to set up ELK stack to monitor our application logs. As a DevOps engineer, you are responsible to perform all these operations. All right. Now, next, what is SDLC? SDLC, yesterday only we conducted a workshop on SDLC for almost 2 hours. SDLC represents software development lifecycle. It tells how to develop one end-to-end application with high quality. It is a process of defining application development process with a high quality. So there are several phases available in the SDLC, like requirements analysis, planning, designing, development, testing, deploying. There are several SDLC phases are available. How we are going to follow those phases to develop the project? Those phases, those steps we are going to follow. The first methodology came into market was waterfall, but that is a failure model. So that waterfall model means the project development, testing, delivery will happen step by step. So that is suitable only for small scale applications. When the project requirements are fixed, when the project budget is fixed, then only we should go for waterfall model. But in today's competitive world, we cannot develop a project with the waterfall model, because every day business needs are changing. Every day business requirements are changing. Clients are asking new changes every day. So for that, we need to go for Agile model. Agile is an iterative model. It is a continuous development, continuous testing, and continuous delivery methodology. In the Agile model, we are not going to develop entire project in the single shot. In the Agile methodology, we are going to divide project requirements into multiple releases. Those are called as sprints. Client involvement is the critical part in the Agile model. So if client has given 100 requirements, we are going to divide those requirements into multiple sprints, and we are going to develop, test, deliver, then repeat the process and take the feedback, right? So sprint is nothing but one release that we are going to do, set of stories that we are going to develop as part of one sprint. Project will not be delivered in the single shot in the Agile model. Project will be delivered step by step, phase by phase we are going to deliver. So here in the Agile model, requirements are not fixed, budget is also not fixed. Every day requirement can change as per client need, right? So we need to work very closely with the client, and we need to satisfy the client with our development and delivery, right? Today in the industry, 99% of the projects are going for 99.9% of the projects are going with Agile methodology. As the project development, testing, delivery is a continuous process, our DevOps also should be there in every sprint of the application. If developers want to develop a project, they need servers to deploy, they need servers to do the code review, they need servers to do the build automation, they need Docker servers, they need Kubernetes cluster. So they need the infrastructure for the development, for testing, and for delivery. So DevOps process will be there from very beginning of the application. DevOps is not like we are going to implement the DevOps process for the project after the development. That is wrong. DevOps will be there along with the development. When the developers are doing the development, parallelly testing will happen, parallelly deployments will happen. So DevOps engineers also will involve in every phase of the SDLC. So don't think that yesterday, I think somebody asked me, sir, DevOps is used to automate build and deployment now. That means after coding is completed, our duty is going to start, right? That's wrong. Note. DevOps DevOps engineer should involve in every phase of SDLC. DevOps team should involve in every phase of SDLC. DevOps team should involve in every phase of SDLC, from requirements analysis, from designing, from developing, testing, deployment, delivery. In every phase of SDLC, development team, testing team, DevOps team, all the team members should involve. The main aim of the DevOps is to establish collaboration between development team and operations team. Development team is responsible to do the coding. Operations team is responsible to deliver that code to the client. Development team will be available. For every project, development team will be available, responsible to develop the project. Responsible to develop the project. Now, what is the purpose of this operations team? Responsible to deliver the project, responsible to deploy and deliver the project. So DevOps is going to establish collaboration between development team and operations team. What the developers are doing, what operations team should deliver, they should have some communication. So to establish that collaboration between the development team and operations team only, we are going for this DevOps. Are you guys clear? I just revised what we discussed in the last 3 sessions. Is it clear for everybody? Is it clear for everybody? Are you able to recall what we discussed in the last sessions? I have shared those videos also in the Telegram. If anybody missed those sessions, you can access the backup videos also in the Telegram channel of our Ashok IT. Okay? Very good. Fine. Jira is also, we are going to learn, sir. Jira is a project management tool and bug tracking tool. Jira also will be covered. How to create the stories, how to assign the stories, how to change the story status, that we will discuss in the Jira. All right. Next one. Let us talk about what is infrastructure. Let us talk about what is infrastructure. As I told you, DevOps engineers are responsible to set up the infrastructure to deploy our application. Infrastructure nothing but the resources which are required to run our application is called as IT infrastructure. If you want to start one hotel business, then you need some tables, chairs, plates, spoons and all. That is infrastructure for the hotel. If you want to start one school, you need some tables, you need some chairs, you need board, you need markers, right? So that is school infrastructure. Similarly, when you want to develop and deliver one application, the resources which are required to develop and run our application is called as IT infrastructure. So we can say machines. In order to develop the application, we need some machines and we need some servers, web servers, application servers. We need to run our application. We need a database to store the data. We need some storage. We need some network. We need some backup facility. We need some disaster recovery facility. Right? Network, power, all these things are required in order to develop our application and deliver our application. So development team is available. Those developers are going to write the code. So to write that code, they need some machines, and to test that code, they need some machines. To run our code, we need some servers. We need a database to store the data permanently. We need a storage for our application. We need a network for our application. We need backup for our application. If the data is deleted, we should have a backup. The disaster recovery, if any natural disaster happened like a earthquake and all, tufan, earthquakes, if any natural disaster happened, we should not lose our data. We need to have the plan for disaster recovery. We need to have a backup. We need to have a network, storage, database, servers, machines, and all these things are called as infrastructure. So as I told you, as a DevOps operations, we need to set up the infrastructure, we need to set up softwares, we need to set up servers, database, storage, network, power, lot of things we need to take care in order to set up our application. The resources which are required to develop and run our application is called as IT infrastructure. Machines, virtual machines, nothing but computers, guys. We need computers, we need servers, I mean to say web servers, we need database servers, we need storage servers, we need a network, we need backup. All these things are required here. If we purchase all the resources, if we purchase if we purchase all the resources if we purchase all the resources required for our application, if we purchase and configure if we purchase and configure all the resources required for our application then it is called as on premise infrastructure. What is that, guys? It is called as on premise infrastructure. So for my application development, for my application testing, I need 50 computers, I need 20 servers, I need 5 database servers, I need 3 storage servers, I need a network, I need a backup. All these resources I am going to purchase with my money, and I am going to set up that. So if we purchase and configure all the resources required for our application, then it is called as on-premise infrastructure. We can also call as in-house infrastructure. It is also called as in-house infrastructure. We are spending the money, we are purchasing the softwares, we are going to configure the softwares, then it is called as on-premise infrastructure, and also we can call it as in-house infrastructure. On-premise infrastructure is costly. On-premise infrastructure, on-premise infrastructure is costly. Setting up infrastructure on our own is costly operation, and it is risky operation. On-premise infrastructure is costly and risky. Why? We need to purchase machines. We need to purchase machines, first thing. And the second thing, we need to purchase web servers, we need to purchase app servers, we need to purchase machines, we need to purchase app servers, we need to purchase database servers, we need to purchase database servers to store our data. We need to purchase storage servers to store binary data like videos, images, audios, and all. Binary data is not recommended to store in the RDBMS directly. We need storage servers for binary data. We need to purchase storage servers. We need to purchase storage servers. We need to purchase network. We need to purchase a network, high speed network that we need to purchase, right? And we need to purchase power. We need to purchase power. We need to purchase a big building. We need to purchase a room to keep our servers. We need to take care of. We need to take care of security. We need to take care of backup. We need to take care of backup. We need to take care of disaster recovery. We need to take care of disaster recovery. To set up all the infrastructure, we need to recruit the people. To set up all infrastructure, we need to recruit people. We need to recruit people and pay salaries to them. This is all our headache now. I want to develop a project. to develop a project, just coding is not sufficient. We need to have a infrastructure to run that project. So what is infrastructure? The resources which are required to develop and run the application is called as IT infrastructure. These are machines, servers, storage, network, backup, all these things we have to purchase. If you purchase all these things with your money, if you set up these things on your own in your company, then it is called as in-house infrastructure. People will also call it as on-premise infrastructure. That means it is our infrastructure to develop the project and run the application. On-premise infrastructure is always a costly and risky operation because we need to spend a lot of money from our pocket to purchase the machines, to purchase the servers, web servers, app servers, database servers, storage servers, network, power. We need a room to keep our servers. We need to take care of security of our servers and room of our servers and room. We need to take care of backup. We need to take care of a power backup. We need to take care of disaster recovery. And we need the people to do all these activities. Can one person will do all these activities? Can you do all these activities? You cannot, because you don't know how to work with database. If you know how to work with database, then you may not know how to work with network, because you may not know all these things. Money we have to spend, time also we have to spend, and we need to take care of lot of things. For example, today there is a rain in Hyderabad. In your area, power is not there. Can you tell to your client today power cut in Hyderabad, project is not accessible? Can you tell that today there is a power cut, our project is not accessible? Come on, guys. Can you say that today there is a power cut in Hyderabad, so our project is not accessible? Then if the power is not available, then you need to take care of a power backup, generators, inverters, you need to keep them ready. Your application should not go down at any point of time. Your application should not go down at any point of time. 24/7, 365 days, your project should be up and running. For that, so you cannot depend on the power which is given by the government. You need to set up the power which is required for your project to run 24/7 without any failure. And for example, in your area, there is an earthquake. Your servers, your building got collapsed, your servers got damaged. Can you tell to the client, because of the earthquake, we lost our servers, we lost our data? Can you tell to the client we lost our data because of the earthquake? Will client accept it if you say that because of earthquake we lost the data? No. Backup, recovery, disaster recovery, backup we have to maintain. All these things are our headache. Fine, guys. Okay, you have invested lot of money, you have purchased all the infrastructure to develop a project for the client. All of a sudden, client closed his business. Client told you to stop the project. My business is not running. My business is in the losses. I don't want to continue with this business. Please stop my project. If a client closes business, then what about your infrastructure? Will client pay the money if he close the business? If a client business is running, he will pay the money for you to manage his project. If a client business is not running, he will not pay the money for you. How much money you spent for the infrastructure? Total waste. Total waste. Money loss, time loss, burdens, stress, pressure. Lot of drawbacks are there. So to overcome the problems with on-premise infrastructure, companies are going for cloud infrastructure. That's where AWS cloud, Azure cloud, GCP cloud comes into picture. To overcome, to avoid the problems of on-premise infrastructure, to avoid the problems of on-premise infrastructure, companies preferring cloud infrastructure. Are you guys getting my point? So nowadays, people are interested to go with the on-premise infrastructure, or people are interested to go with the cloud infrastructure. People are going with the cloud infrastructure. Why? If you go for cloud infrastructure, you just pay the money somebody will take care of the infrastructure which is required to run your application. Again, same question. What is infrastructure? Infrastructure, nothing but the resources which are required to develop and run our software application. They can be a machine, they can be a server, they can be storage, they can be network, backup, recovery, anything. All the resources which are required to develop and run our application is called as infrastructure. You can purchase the infrastructure, you can set up the infrastructure, but it is costly, risky, and a time taking process. And even if you spend the money, if the business is not running, our infrastructure will be wasted, our money will be wasted, infrastructure will be wasted, and our money will be wasted. Okay, fine. So to avoid the problems of on-premise infrastructure, companies are preferring cloud infrastructure. So before going to understand what is this cloud infrastructure, let's discuss about what is cloud computing. Can anyone tell me what is cloud computing, guys? Can anyone tell me what is cloud computing now? Can anyone tell me what is cloud computing now? First, I'm looking for your answers. I'm looking for your answers, guys. Please involve in the session and interact, respond to the questions when I ask something. Give your answer, whether you are right or wrong. That's not important here because we are in the starting stages of this course. We are here to learn the subject. We are here to learn the subject. Whether your answer is right or wrong, no problem. I'm not going to read your name. If you give the right answer or wrong answer, I'm not going to scold you. I'm not going to kill you. Just share your experience so that I will understand what is your skill, how much you know, what I need to teach you. Okay. What is cloud computing? I want everyone to respond in my session. I want everyone to respond in my session. So don't keep idle. If you keep idle, you will feel sleepy. Don't use mobiles while you are attending the classes. Don't do chatting. Concentrate. Give your 1.5 hour time to the session so that I can give you the best content. Don't deviate from the session. Don't do the chattings. Don't open your mobile. Throw your mobiles outside. Join the class from the laptop. Don't join from the mobile. If you join from the mobile, the screen may not be clearly visible for you. If you see the mobile for 15 minutes, then you will get a message in the WhatsApp. Then you will go to WhatsApp chatting. You will disconnect it from the class. Please join from laptops. Right. What is cloud computing? Still people are not responding. Only very few people are responding. Harish, what is cloud computing? Come on, guys. Cloud is a database, huh? To perform some operations with the cloud, huh? Pay for what we use. Some people are giving some answers. I'm just reading the answers which are given by the people. To perform some operations with the cloud, we are going for that. Cloud is a service provider. We can access data from anywhere. On-demand availability of the resources. To perform some operations, store the data in the cloud. Only 10 to 15 members are responding. What about remaining? Are you guys sleeping? नाश्ता नहीं किया क्या भाई? नाश्ता नहीं किया क्या? Then why are you not responding? Please involve in the session. What is cloud computing? My question is very clear. What is cloud computing? Right. It is the process. It is the process of delivering on demanded. It is the process of delivering on demanded resources over the internet. What is cloud computing? It is the process of delivering on demanded resources over the internet, is called as cloud computing. So here, whatever the resources that you need for your project, those resources you can take from the internet without purchasing. It is something like our Shamiana material. When there is a function in our house, instead of purchasing the chairs and tables for today's function, we will take them for rent. Same thing for our project development, whatever the infrastructure we need, what are the servers, what are the databases, right? And storage, network, power, security, backup, recovery, everything. Whatever the infrastructure that we are going to purchase manually with our money, same infrastructure you can take from internet. That is the process of cloud computing. What is cloud computing? Cloud computing is the process of delivering on-demanded resources over the internet. So using cloud computing using cloud computing we can take IT resources for rent over the web. By using internet we can take IT resources for rent. Whatever the resources, whatever the infrastructure that we need for our project, we can take that infrastructure for rent. There are several cloud providers available in the market to provide the infrastructure for you. There are several cloud providers in the market to provide resources over the web. There are several cloud providers in the market to provide resources over the web. So here, Amazon Web Services, that is AWS, Amazon is one of the cloud provider. Amazon is providing AWS resources over the web by using AWS cloud. Microsoft is also one of the cloud provider. They are having Azure cloud platform. Google is also one of the cloud provider. Google Cloud GCP. VMware Cloud is available. Earlier it is called as PCF. Now it is called as VMware. VMware Cloud is available. IBM Cloud is available. VMware Cloud is available. IBM Cloud is available. Oracle Cloud is available. Alibaba Cloud is available. Salesforce Cloud is available. Alibaba Cloud is available. Alibaba Cloud is available. Salesforce Cloud is available. Like that, there are so many cloud providers available in the market. So what is this cloud computing? It is the process of delivering on-demanded resources over the internet. That means whatever the infrastructure that you need for your application, that infrastructure will be given by cloud provider over the internet. You need a database for your project. Then take the database for rent from the internet. Cloud provider will give you database for rent. You need one server to run your application. Take the server from the cloud provider. You need network. Take the network from the cloud provider. You need storage. Take the storage from the cloud provider. Whatever the infrastructure that you need for your application, that infrastructure you can take for rent over the web. Who will provide the infrastructure for rent? The companies which are providing infrastructure for rent are called as cloud providers. Who are the cloud providers available in the market? Amazon AWS, Amazon Web Services is one cloud, Microsoft Azure Cloud, Google Cloud Platform GCP, VMware Cloud, IBM Cloud, Oracle Cloud, Alibaba Cloud, Salesforce Cloud. Like that, there are so many cloud platforms are available in the market. So we can use any one of the cloud to set up infrastructure for our application. So here, either you can go for on-premise infrastructure to develop and run your application, or you can go for cloud infrastructure. If we use cloud infrastructure, cloud provider will take care of everything. We just need to pay the money. Cloud providers providing the resources based on pay as you go pricing. Cloud providers giving resources are giving services based on pay as you go pricing. What is the meaning of pay as you go pricing? You no need to purchase anything. Whatever you use, you just pay for that. It is like a postpaid mobile bill. It is like a credit card bill. The company bank will provide you credit card. You use it for your shopping, for your expenses for a month. At the month end, they will generate the bill for your usage. You need to pay that bill. Same thing here also in the cloud computing. Companies are providing you infrastructure over the internet. You take the infrastructures, you use the infrastructure for your project. At the month end, they will calculate the bill amount for your usage. Cloud providers giving services based on pay as you go pricing. Pay as you go pricing means how much you use, that much you have to pay for them. You no need to purchase anything, you just take for rent. So if we use a cloud infrastructure, cloud provider will manage everything on behalf of us. As I told you, if we purchase the infrastructure, we need to set up everything. We need to take care of the power. We need to take care of the server. We need to take care of the room. We need to take care of the air conditioner ACs to keep our systems cool. We need to take care of the backup. We need to take care of disaster recovery. Everything is our responsible. Everything is our responsibility when we go for on-premise infrastructure or in-house infrastructure. If we go for cloud infrastructure, if we use cloud infrastructure, if we use cloud infrastructure for our project, then cloud provider will take care of everything. Will take care of everything related to network, related to power, related to security, related to backup, related to disaster recovery, relate everything. If we use cloud infrastructure for our project, then cloud provider will take care of everything. We just need to we just need to we just need to use it and pay for it. That's it. If we use a cloud infrastructure for our project, then cloud provider will take care of everything. We just need to use it and pay for it based on usage. Based on usage. So this is called as pay as you go pricing. Whatever the infrastructure that you are using, for that infrastructure, you need to pay the money. You need to pay the money. Cloud providers giving services based on pay as you go pricing. Are you guys clear with what is infrastructure, what is on-premise infrastructure, and what is cloud infrastructure, what is cloud computing? Are you guys getting the concept into your brain, or you are just watching the notes that I'm typing? I will share these notes with you, don't worry. You no need to write the running notes, guys. I am already doing multitasking. I'm speaking and I am writing. So you don't need to do the multitasking. You just to do single task. Just concentrate on the class. After the class is completed, I will share the notes with you. You don't do multitasking. You do only one task. You just listen to the class, understand the subject, what I am explaining, and respond to my questions when I asked. I will give these notes for you. A beautiful notes I am preparing. ठीक है? Class होने के बाद मैं ये notes share करता हूँ, guys. You no need to write it. I will give these notes for you. Soft copy material, I will give it to you. Class video you will get, class notes also you are going to get every day. Good. Infrastructure means the resources which are required to develop and run our application. We can purchase the infrastructure, we can configure the infrastructure, then that is called as on-premise infrastructure. On-premise infrastructure is a costly and time-taking process and risky process. So that is why we are going for cloud computing. What is cloud computing? It is the process of delivering on-demand resources over the internet. Using cloud computing, we can take IT resources for rent over the web. Whatever the infrastructure you need for your project, you can take the infrastructure for rent from the web. So who will provide infrastructure for rent? There are so many companies are available. There are so many companies are available. What are those companies who will provide the infrastructure for rent? The companies which are providing the infrastructure for rent, those are called as cloud providers. That means we are using the services from other person giving the services to us. That is called cloud computing. In terms of network, in terms of computing, in terms of storage, in terms of backup, in terms of recovery, everything will be taken care by provider. Paisa peko tamasha deko. That is the concept here. You just pay the money, use the services. They will take care of everything which is required for you in terms of infrastructure. So if we go for cloud infrastructure, we can focus more on our development and our business growth. So if you go for on-premise infrastructure, as a business owner, if you are the company owner, then you need to focus on the development area and you need to focus on the infrastructure area. If infrastructure will be taken care by some company for the money, then can you concentrate only on the development of your application? If infrastructure is taken care by somebody, can you focus only on the development and can you focus on the business growth? Yes, infrastructure will be taken care by cloud provider, right? On what basis they are providing the infrastructure? Based on pay as you go pricing. That means it is like a credit card bill, it is like a postpaid bill, cloud bill also will be generated. So if you use the infrastructure, then they will charge for that. Okay, fine. Cloud providers giving the services based on pay as you go pricing. Cloud computing advantages. Now, after understanding this concept, can you tell me what are the advantages of going for cloud computing, guys? Advantages are there, advantages are not there. Advantages are there, advantages are not there. Come on. Respond. Advantages are there with the cloud computing, advantages are not there with the cloud computing. Advantages are there. What are the advantages with the cloud computing now? What are the advantages available with the cloud computing now? First one is less cost. Are you going to spend crores of rupees to set up the infrastructure? Are we going to set up crores of rupees to set up the infrastructure? No. Less cost. Less cost. So if you want to purchase the infrastructure, lot of money you have to invest. But when you are going for cloud computing, less cost. Pay as you go. Pay as you go. If you use it, then only you pay for that. If you use it, then only you pay for that. And the next one is scalability. Next one is scalability. Scalability, nothing but when your business is growing, more number of people are accessing your application. So then you can increase your infrastructure from 10 servers to 20 servers you can go. If your business is growing, if your more traffic is coming, you can scale your infrastructure, you can scale up, you can scale down. So suppose for example, if you see in the Amazon or Flipkart, normal day selling will be different, big billion day selling will be different. On the normal day, less number of users will access Flipkart, Amazon. On the big billion day, more number of users will access the application. When more number of users are accessing the application, our infrastructure also should increase. Instead of running the project on the 10 servers, I want to run my project on the 50 servers. On the big billion day, when there is a 50% offer, more number of users will access our application. When more number of users are accessing the application, we need to increase our infrastructure. That is called scaling, increasing and decreasing based on the demand, increasing and decreasing based on demand. You can increase your infrastructure, you can decrease your infrastructure based on demand. Scalability is one of the advantage of going for cloud computing. And the fourth one is availability. 24/7, 365 days, cloud resources will be available. So they will not tell you power cut, earthquake, data is not available, servers are not available, there is a problem. Such kind of stories they are not going to tell. They will provide you 100% availability. 24/7, your application will be up and running when you deploy on the cloud, because that is the headache of the cloud provider to take care of the availability. We are just going to pay the money. We are just going to pay the money. They will take care of scalability. They will take care of availability. That means 20 never services will never go down. Services will never go down. That means power is not there, server is not working. Such kind of issues will not come when you go for cloud computing. 24/7, your application will be up and running. 24/7, your resources will be available. And another thing is backup. Even if your server got deleted, cloud provider will maintain the data backup for you. Cloud provider will maintain data backup for you. There is no concept of we lost your data. There is no concept of our server got crashed, we lost your data, we are sorry. They are not going to tell like that. They are going to maintain your data for backup purpose. If you delete your data also, if your data got deleted also, there is no problem. Cloud provider will maintain backup of our data. And the next one, cloud provider will give you unlimited storage. How much data you want to store, that much data you can store. There is no limit like that. You need to store only 100 GB data, you need to store only 1000 GB data, or you need to store only 5000 GB data. Such a kind of restrictions are not there. If you give the money, they will give you storage capacity unlimited. Unlimited data you can store on the cloud. Unlimited storage. Now imagine daily how many videos will be uploaded to YouTube. Is there any limitation on the capacity of the YouTube server? Is there any limitation that only these many videos should be uploaded in a day in the YouTube? Millions of videos are getting uploaded to YouTube daily. How? They are managing with the cloud. Unlimited storage capacity will be providing by cloud providers. And the next one is security. Whatever the data you store in the cloud, no other person can access that. Security, they are not going to compromise on the security. Your data will be maintained in the cloud securely. So they will maintain your data with the security, high standard security principles they are going to follow. If a security is not available in the cloud, why these many people will go for cloud computing? That means 100% security is available, 100% unlimited storage is available, 100% backup will be available, 100% availability, 100% scalability, less cost, pay as you go pricing. These all are advantages of going for cloud computing. These all are advantages of going for cloud computing. If you go for in-house infrastructure, you have to manage all these things. You need to purchase the infrastructure. You need to take care of infrastructure scalability. You need to take care of infrastructure availability. You need to take care of backup. You need to take care of storage. You need to take care of security. But now cloud provider will take care of everything. You just take the resources for your usage from the internet, from the cloud provider. You use the infrastructure, you pay the money, cloud provider will manage everything for us. So this is cloud computing and cloud computing advantages. Less cost, pay as you go, scalability, availability, backup, unlimited storage, security. These all are the advantages of going for cloud computing. Are you guys clear with my point? Are you guys clear with my point? What is cloud computing? Why we need to go for cloud computing? What are the advantages of cloud computing? Are you guys clear with my concept? What is cloud computing? Why we need to go for cloud computing? What are the advantages of going for cloud computing? Can you tell me what are the advantages of going for cloud computing? Can you tell me what are the advantages of going for cloud computing now? What are the advantages of going for cloud computing? Come on. Less cost, pay as you go, scalability, availability, backup, storage, security, disaster recovery, reliability. Reliability is also one of the advantage. Strong, reliability means strong. A strong resources, strong infrastructure they are going to provide you, which is not going to fail at any point of time. Reliability means the infrastructure which is not going to fail at any point of time. The infrastructure which is not going to fail at any point of time, that is called as reliable infrastructure. Okay, now as part of this course we are going to learn AWS cloud. What is AWS cloud? AWS stands for Amazon Web Services. AWS is one of the leading cloud platform available in the market. What is AWS? The course is DevOps with AWS, right? So what is AWS? AWS stands for Amazon Web Services. AWS stands for Amazon Web Services. So why we are going for this Amazon Web Services? AWS stands for Amazon Web Services. AWS is one of the leading cloud provider available in the market. Leading cloud provider in the market. AWS stands for Amazon Web Services. AWS is one of the leading cloud provider in the market. AWS started providing the resources over the web since 2006. AWS started providing AWS started providing IT resources from 2006 onwards. AWS providing 200 plus services across the globe. AWS providing 200 plus services across the globe, across the world. 250 plus countries using AWS cloud resources. AWS stands for Amazon Web Services. AWS is one of the leading cloud provider in the market. AWS started providing IT resources from 2006 onwards. AWS providing 200 plus services across the world. We can use AWS cloud resources to set up infrastructure for our application. AWS cloud managing by Amazon company. AWS cloud managing by which company, guys? AWS cloud managing by Amazon company. You might have used Amazon Prime account to watch the movies, Amazon to purchase the products, mobiles, books, right? So the same Amazon company. That Amazon company managing this AWS cloud. AWS cloud platform managing by AWS cloud platform managing by Amazon company. AWS providing 200 plus services across the world. AWS stands for Amazon Web Services. AWS is one of the leading cloud provider in the market. AWS started providing IT resources from 2006 onwards. 2006 onwards, right? AWS providing 200 plus services across the world. AWS cloud platform managing by Amazon company. AWS providing cloud services. AWS providing cloud services based on pay as you go pricing. What model they are following, guys? Pay as you go pricing. AWS providing cloud resources based on pay as you go pricing. So pay as you go pricing. That means you use the services and you pay the money for your usage. You use the services and you pay the money for your usage. Are you guys clear? There are 200 plus services available in the AWS cloud. Now note, we can use we can use AWS services for free of cost. For free of cost, AWS we can use AWS services. AWS services 1 year for free of cost. Free of cost. A free tier account we are going to create in the AWS, and we can lend the AWS services for 1 year free of cost. So we are students, we are learning AWS, we are beginners in the AWS. We no need to pay money to use the resources in the AWS. We can use AWS services 1 year for free of cost. Some free tier services are available, some commercial services are available. So we are going to use those services for 1 year for free of cost. You no need to pay single rupee also for AWS to use the services which are required to lend this cloud, right? I will tell you which services are free, which services are paid in the AWS. For learning AWS, for AWS learning, for AWS learning, we no need to pay, we no need to pay amount for AWS. For learning purpose, we no need to pay amount for AWS. In the companies, they will pay the money for AWS to use AWS infrastructure. But as a student, you no need to pay the money for AWS. I will tell you how to use AWS services without paying the money for the AWS for learning purpose. For the real project purpose, we need to pay the money. Some services are free of cost, some services are paid. Some services are free of cost, some services are paid. When I'm explaining the course, when I'm explaining the particular service, I will tell you which services are paid, which services are free, and how to use it for free of cost without paying the amount. For example, by mistake, if you use any paid service, if any paid service, then we can request, we can request AWS to waive off, waive off bill amount. By mistake, if you use any paid service, then we can request AWS as a student, to waive off bill amount. AWS will not deduct the bill amount without our permission. That is one of the great thing. AWS will not deduct, AWS will not deduct bill amount directly. We have to pay that. We have to pay that. If we don't pay the bill amount, AWS will terminate our account. AWS will not do auto deduction. But when you go for Azure and GCP cloud, when you go, even if you go for AWS, Azure, GCP, to create the account in the AWS cloud, we need to provide our debit card or credit card details to sign up into the cloud account. If you want to go with AWS, or if you want to go with Azure, or if you want to go with GCP, you need to create an account. For account creation, they will ask your credit card details or debit card details. But the thing is, when the bill got generated for the usage of the cloud resources, AWS will not do auto deduction. You have to pay the amount on your own. Unless you pay the money, AWS will not do any auto deductions. Whereas in the Azure and GCP, if the bill got generated at the month end, they will do auto deduction. So we should be very careful while working with Azure and GCP. But in the AWS, auto deduction facility not available. They have not implemented that concept. So if you use any service in the AWS, which is a commercial service, then if you use any service in the AWS, which is a commercial service, then we have to request the AWS to make our bill amount as a 0. You will send a mail for the AWS support team. I will tell you how to send a mail for the AWS support team to remove our bill amount. So you no need to pay anything for AWS for learning purpose. I will take care of that. You will not get the bill. I will tell the precautions to not to get the bill amount in the AWS as part of our course. By mistake, if you do something wrong, if you get the bill amount, then there is an option to make the bill amount as a 0 in the AWS by talking to AWS support center. But that is not the case in the Azure and GCP. They will deduct your amount directly if the bill got generated. Understand what is AWS now? AWS stands for Amazon Web Services. AWS is one of the leading cloud provider in the market. AWS started providing IT resources from 2006 onwards. AWS providing 200 plus services across the world. AWS Cloud Platform managing by Amazon company. AWS providing cloud services based on pay as you go pricing. We can use AWS services 1 year for free of cost. For AWS learning, we no need to pay amount for the AWS. By mistake, if you use any paid service, then we can request AWS as a student to waive off the bill amount. If you use, not by mistake, if you use any paid service, we can request the AWS to waive off our bill amount, waive off bill amount. That means make the bill amount as 0. AWS will not deduct bill amount directly. We have to pay that on our own. All right. In the AWS, there are so many services are available. So now AWS services overview. There are so many services are available in AWS cloud. I told you 200 plus services are available in AWS. I am already having a account in the AWS, guys. I'm already having an account in the AWS. This is my AWS account. I created this account. I'm using this account to teach the classes. So if you go to services, there are so many services are available in the AWS, like Lambda, EC2, VPC, IAM, S3, Kubernetes service, RDS, CloudFormation, CloudWatch, SNS, FSX, like that. There are 200 plus services are available in AWS. Using those services, we are going to set up our cloud infrastructure. So before going to set up, before going to use AWS, everybody should have a account in the AWS. If you are new to AWS, create a new AWS account. Create a new AWS account. You need to create the account. For account creation, AWS will ask your card, either credit card or a debit card you need to provide, and you need to create the account. Account creation also I have documented, guys. I'm going to share that document, how to create one account in the AWS. A step-by-step document I'm going to provide you. Okay, I'm going to share the document also. So before coming to tomorrow session, I want you people to create an account in the AWS cloud. AWS account creation, we prepared one PDF document, guys. Go to AWS console URL, then sign up, click on create new account, then provide your details, provide your information, provide your card details. It will ask the card. They will charge you 2 rupees initially. They will send the 2 rupees back to your account once your card is verified. Okay, then OTP, then enter the captcha, enter your details, select free tier support, select free tier support, and create the account. Once you create the account, you can log in into your account as a root user. Right? Root user, nothing but a super admin user. With that root user, you can access everything available in the AWS. Once you log in into AWS, you can see the AWS services. How I'm able to see the services, you can also see the services. So before coming to tomorrow's session, everybody should have an account in the AWS. I will share the document also. Follow my document and set up your account in the AWS. That is a free tier account for 1 year. It is free of cost. You no need to pay the amount. Okay, guys. Now, so to use the services in the AWS, you need to have a AWS account. So I hope you got the clarity. What is cloud computing? What are the advantages of the cloud? What is AWS? Why we are learning AWS? Guys, can you tell me why we are learning AWS here? Are we learning AWS for time pass? Why we are learning AWS? Is there any reason? AWS is providing resources over the internet, cloud resources, cloud infrastructure. As a DevOps engineer, I told you, you need to set up infrastructure. In the company, are we going to set up the infrastructure on premise, or we are going to set up the infrastructure in the cloud, where we are going to set up the infrastructure of our application? Are we setting up the infrastructure in on-premises, in-house infrastructure? Are we going to set up infrastructure on the AWS cloud? We are going to set up infrastructure on the AWS cloud. Okay. So AWS is one of the cloud platform in the market. It started providing the resources from 2006 onwards. In the AWS, there are 200 plus services are available across the globe. 150 or 250 countries are using this AWS cloud. AWS cloud based on pay as you go pricing. We can use AWS cloud for 1 year. No need to pay the bill amount. So you need to create a account in the AWS, guys. I will share the document. I have shared a link to join in the group. So please join in that group so that you will get the notes and you will get the document. So I'm giving a link in the chat box. So please join here so that you will get the document today and you will get the notes also, so that everybody will have a account before coming to tomorrow's session, because without having the AWS account, you can't learn this. It's mandatory. It's mandatory. You need to have the account. Okay. Can you join in the group? I gave the link in the chat box. All of you look at the chat box in the Zoom. Join here. I will share the document and I will share the notes also, so that before coming to tomorrow, you can create your account in the AWS. All of you able to join? All of you able to join? Come on, please confirm. Please confirm. Are you able to join there? Make it fast, guys. Make it fast. Perfect. So all of you come up with AWS account for tomorrow's session. All of you come up with AWS account for tomorrow's session. All of you come up with AWS account for tomorrow's session. Right. Now, so what are the resources available in the AWS? What are the resources available in the AWS? AWS providing 200 resources. I mean to say 200 services are available. Mainly, we are going to talk about EC2. EC2 stands for Elastic Compute Cloud Service in the AWS. What is the purpose of EC2? To create virtual machines. So I told you we need some machines, we need some computers to develop and run our application, right? For creating the machines in the AWS, we are going to use EC2. EC2 service will provide you infrastructure. I mean machines, virtual machines. Suppose I want to deploy my application on the Linux machine. I no need to purchase a Linux computer. I can take a Linux machine from AWS by using EC2 service. EC2 stands for Elastic Compute Cloud. Okay. AWS EC2, which is used to create virtual machines in the AWS cloud. Next one, EBS. EBS stands for Elastic Block Storage. It is like a hard disk for the virtual machine. Virtual machine storage device. Virtual machine storage like hard disk. Like a hard disk. EBS, Elastic Block Storage. EC2 nothing but Elastic Compute Cloud. It is used to create virtual machines in the AWS. It is used to create a virtual machine in the AWS. Are you guys clear with my point? Are you guys clear with my point? What is EC2? EC2 stands for Elastic Compute Cloud, which is used to create virtual machines. EBS. EBS stands for Elastic Block Storage, virtual machine storage, like a hard disk. Next one, ELB, Elastic Load Balancer. So when the more load is coming for our application, to distribute the load, we are going to use Elastic Load Balancer to distribute load to multiple servers. We are not going to run our application on the single server because traffic will be more. Traffic will be more. So when the more traffic is coming, we need to distribute the traffic To distribute the traffic to multiple servers, we are going to use load balancing concept, that is called ELB. Next one, ASG is available, auto scaling group, auto scaling, increasing and decreasing infrastructure based on the demand, increasing and decreasing infrastructure based on demand. If a more number of requests are coming, I want to increase my servers. If less number of requests are coming, I want to decrease my servers. Increasing and decreasing servers based on demand, based on traffic. If multiple people are accessing my application, I want more servers to process the requests. If less number of people are accessing my application, I will take less servers only to run my application. So that auto scaling facility is also available. Next one is RDS. RDS stands for Relational Database System. RDS stands for Relational Database System. To create relational database, in cloud. So instead of we are purchasing the database, we can set up the database also in the cloud platform by using RDS service. Next one, VPC. VPC stands for Virtual Private Cloud. VPC stands for Virtual Private Cloud. To create network for our resources, for our infrastructure, we are creating machines, we are creating servers, right? And we are creating a database. To provide the network for our resources in the AWS, we are going to use one service called VPC service. VPC stands for Virtual Private Cloud. It will provide the network for our resources. EC2 to create virtual machines, EBS virtual machine storage, ELB distribute the load, to distribute load to multiple servers, auto scaling, increasing and decreasing servers based on the demand. RDS, relational database system, to create relational database in cloud. Instead of we are setting up the database, we can go for cloud database by using RDS. What is VPC? VPC stands for Virtual Private Cloud. It is used to create a network for our resources. S3. S3 stands for Simple Storage Service. Simple Storage Service. Unlimited data storage. Unlimited storage. As I told, cloud is providing unlimited storage. Which is service we are going to use to store unlimited data? To store the unlimited data, we are going for S3 buckets. By using S3, we can store unlimited data. Unlimited storage we can do in the cloud by using S3, that is unlimited storage service in the AWS. Next one, there is a service called Beanstalk. There is a service called Beanstalk, Elastic Beanstalk. It provides a ready-made platform to run the application. Ready-made platform to run our application. You no need to set up the infrastructure. Infrastructure will be provided by Beanstalk. You just need to run the application. Elastic Beanstalk, ready-made platform to run our application. Ready-made platform to run our application. And the next one, there is a service called CloudWatch to monitor AWS resources, how our servers are working, how our database is working, how much is CPU utilized, how much network is there. All the resources can be monitored by using one service in the AWS, which is called CloudWatch. CloudWatch is a monitoring service to understand the behavior of our machines. To understand the performance of our machines, we can go for this CloudWatch. Right, like that, there are so many services are available. Another service, Lambdas for serverless computing. Run your code without thinking about server. You no need to bother about the server also when you go for Lambda concept. Lambdas are providing you serverless computing. Run your code without thinking about servers by using AWS Lambda. So Lambdas are very important. Very important. Lambdas are used for serverless computing. That means run your code without thinking about servers. Run your code without thinking about servers. Are you clear? Cloud formation. Create the infrastructure using code. There is a service called Cloud Formation in the AWS. Create infrastructure using code. Now you can create the infrastructure by using this GUI application also, guys. Suppose I want to create one EC2 virtual machine. So there is option to create EC2 launch instance through this web. If you don't want to use the web to create the infrastructure, you can go for the code. You can write the code to create the infrastructure, that is Cloud Formation. Cloud Formation is used to create infrastructure. Cloud Formation. And the next one, ECS, Elastic Container Service. Elastic Container Service to run Docker containers in cloud. To run the Docker containers. EKS, Elastic Kubernetes Service to create Kubernetes cluster. To create Kubernetes cluster, we'll go for ECS, EKS, EFS, Elastic File System. There are so many. 100, 200 plus services are available, etc. There are so many services are available in the AWS cloud. So we are going to learn 15 plus services in the 1.5. We are going to learn 15 plus services in the AWS cloud, which are frequently used in projects, right? 200 plus services we are not going to learn here, guys. We are going to learn 15 plus services from the AWS cloud, which are required to set up the infrastructure for our project. Got my point? Yeah. Someone is asking, what is the difference between IaaS, PaaS, SaaS, cloud service models? So tomorrow I will give the difference between IaaS, PaaS, SaaS, infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service. I will explain you that before going to start with our AWS class. All of you clear with my point? You understand the concept of what is AWS? You understand the concept of what is AWS? Samjha? Clear? So tomorrow is the last free session, guys. So 4 classes completed, total 5 classes for free of cost. So these are not demo classes, guys. These are regular classes only. Today I gave the introduction for what is cloud computing and what is AWS cloud. What are the services are there in the AWS cloud? So tomorrow onwards, we are going to see how to work with this AWS, right? So tomorrow is the last free session. So if you are really interested to continue these classes, so you need to complete your enrollment process tomorrow. Tomorrow also you can attend the class with the same Zoom link at the same time. So tomorrow is the last free session. Thank you. Thanks for watching this question. Thank you. Thanks for watching this class. Here, the people who are watching from YouTube, thank you guys. Please like this video and subscribe to our channel and click on bell icon for upcoming updates. Okay, fine. I'm stopping the live stream. The people who are having doubts in the